Ooh,
Oh, that was so much better.
nice.
We remembered. So we're actually ready this time. Welcome.
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 Welcome back to the Unhinged BookCast, a book club style podcast hosted by two romantacy book besties. I'm LJ.
And I'm Jess, and we're so excited to have you back.
Whether we're deep diving into thoughts and theories or just writing the vibes, we love discussing our current reads with each other and now with all of you.
In tonight's episode, we are discussing the Fae and Alchemy series by Callie Hart with Book 1, QuickSilver, chapters 14 through 27. This is a reread for both of us, but we have brought in some new co-hosts that are first-time readers. But you still don't have to worry about spoilers as long as you have read through our current reading section.
Hello again. I'm Carla. I am Leslie's very awesome, taller sister.
That is true. That is true.
Hey, I'm Katie. I'm Carla's college-age daughter.
QuickSilver and the lead up to Brimstone is a really big thing in the book world right now, so we're happy you have all chosen to discuss with us.
Brimstone will be released on November 18th. That's next week.
Ooh. All of our Fae and Alchemy series discussions will be in our own playlist on our YouTube channel, so you can catch up whenever you're ready.
Have thoughts and theories we haven't discussed? Well, you can discuss with us spoiler-free, chapter by chapter in our club on the Fable app.
Also, please do all the things, liking, following, and subscribing on all of our platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the Fable app.
And of course, a quick content warning. We read romantic fantasy books that are intended for adults. Some of the things that can and probably will come up are war, violence, and of course, no pants dances. Rearranging furniture.
Though our discussions tend to skirt those topics, we frequently use adult language that is not suitable for little listening ears. We hope you are all reading along with us, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts and theories as well. It's going to be a night.
It's going to be a night. So now that we are ready, let's jump right in and get started with discussing chapters of 14 through 27. But first, let's do a little recap. We left off last week with a blood oath between Kingfisher and Sirius, including one brother for as many relics as Fisher needs. However, it's not baby brother laying unconscious on the floor, but carrying fucking Swift. The book cast members stand divided whether Carrion is her real brother or if it is an honest mistake. And the mirrors. We need more information on these mirrors. So let's get started. Chapter 14. Kingfisher gets her to just grab some stuff real quick. He's going to go leave a note for Wren. We're going out to the stables and we're going to be riding horses. She says, absolutely not. And I said, same girl, same, because I do not like horses either. What does everybody else have?
Okay, so we don't know what a fox is, and we also don't like horses. Like this girl, I don't know about her. Like, she's got some issues.
She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh, Katie, what do you think so far?
I would also be pissed if I was like, wait, you didn't even get my brother and now I have to do whatever you tell me to.
True, that is true.
Yeah.
I'd be so mad. Also, I want to know why she doesn't like horses because I love horses.
Me too.
Okay,
Me
well,
too.
I don't, but they're scary, so
3 against 1.
okay, you all weren't little and your jerk of a cousin didn't tell you that horses were from hell and they had eyes in the back of their heads, and now I'm still terrified of them to this day in my mid-30s. Okay, thank
Which
you.
cousin?
It's got to be Ryan.
I was about to say fucking Ryan. All right, so yeah, what do you got, Jess?
I would say the only other thing that she kind of learns here in this chapter is to be very careful of the deals that she makes and be very specific about her wording, because that's how he's able to get her where she's like Katie said, like, this is bullshit, this is not my brother, and he said, you agreed to, what did she say specifically?
She said, try to get my brother,
Right,
I think.
that was the
Get
key
my
word,
brother.
and he
Yep.
says, I did try. So, and then he says, be very specific. So I'm just going to put that out there because it comes back later. She
Yep.
needs to be more careful with her words.
We need to
I'm
be very
not surprised. I kind of saw this coming.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
not the, you know.
Yeah, I kind of figured something would happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the way he phrased it in the last chapter.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Well, if you've read
gonna
any other Fae
no
books, like
cross.
it's kind of a thing across the board that you have to be very
Yeah.
careful with making deals with the Fae.
But we can't move on to chapter 15 without reminding the world that Carrion is still laying unconscious, thrown over the back of a horse.
Like a dead deer or something. They get packed out of the mountains.
He's just packing him out.
Pack him out.
We have places to go. And like, does he
Kingfisher
not
could
have a
not care
boot?
less.
He only has like one
Yes,
boot on or
he's
something like
missing a
that.
boot.
Yeah.
And we don't know or care. No, he still has both boots now. It's later that anyways.
It's later. He only has one boot. Okay. So
Oh, boy.
chapter 15. So we are going through this journey, and I didn't see this in anybody else's notes, so I wanted to make sure we talk about it. But we are going through what is known as the Wicker Woods, which is basically a prison for the shades. And of course, she's like, okay, well, what are the shades? And they're basically like all dead. And they're just like they weren't good people or whatever. So they're ghosts.
So they start fighting, and they're fighting about whether or not he knew she was stealing the ring. I vote he did know, but they're just being super annoying and bickering back and forth, and it's driving me nuts. It's like there's like two kids fighting in the back seat. They're like, shut up, I'm trying to drive. That's how I feel about the bickering. But I'm super excited. Okay, sorry, what?
I was just gonna see, I could see you being like, I will turn this horse around.
I would.
This horse around.
Like,
I also agree. I think he knew that she was stealing the ring. I think she's just stubborn and doesn't want to admit that he knew that she was stealing the ring. But yeah, I want to know more about the ghost things, but yeah, I'd be like
The
her if
shades.
someone was like, yeah, those
Yeah.
things. But yeah, I agree with her. If someone was like, hey, what is he? I'd be like, no, I do not. Thanks for the offer, though.
Yeah, I want to
I'm
sleep
good.
tonight.
Yeah.
I think that's what she told him. I want to sleep tonight.
I think honestly, I'm good.
Because she could hear him. She just couldn't see him.
Yeah,
and
'cause
they
they can hear him
sounded
screaming,
terrible.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
there's this dude, he's probably not a human, but some sort of being outside, and he offers to buy onyx. Just like absolutely not. Onyx is not for sale. But then he offers to buy Karen, and she's like, no, he's not for sale either. So I mean, she doesn't totally hate him. So
And Kingfisher
good for
was
her.
like, well, for the right price, what are you offering? And she's like, no. I could just see
No,
her like
he's
slapping him
not
on the
for
shoulder and being
sale.
like, dude, no, we're not selling him.
So finally, Ren arrives, and he's having this little conversation with Kingfisher about how he knows that Kingfisher stole Solace before they left, which is Kingfisher's father's godsword. So
Which
that's
is also the one that got pulled out of the Quicksilver by Cirrus, right? That's the
I
one that
believe
opened the
so.
Quicksilver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
That was the one that was trapped
Right.
in Zalvarin.
Zilvarin.
Zilvarin.
Something along those
Yes.
lines.
But then at some point, I feel like this is before Ren comes, but he says that he is taking her home to Kalish, where he grew up. That's where that's the main destination here.
Mhm.
And then so they're getting ready to leave, and the boys get recognized, right, by all these different people, and they start coming up, and guess what? She finds out the boys are freaking legends.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I like the parallel between like everyone saying like Kingfisher and saying his name a bunch, and like you kind of think it's gonna be like the scene in like the court where everyone hates him, and then it's like the opposite and they all like
Mhm.
love him. I thought that was kind of a fun parallel that she did there.
But yeah.
Okay, and the only other thing that really stuck out to me is that everybody's praising him and thinking that he's really cool, but he's like, that was a long time ago. That person doesn't exist anymore. So just looking forward to seeing like, where did that person go? What happened to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I want to see what he was like before, like how similar he was to now. Like,
Oh, like how Ren keeps saying like this isn't the Kingfisher I used to know or something like that. Yeah. All right, so chapter 16, we are going through the Shadow Gate. We are using it to get back to Kingfisher's house, which is Kalish, which is near the front of the war with Sansaroth. So Ren's telling her of that. Kingfisher had been gone for 110 years.
Okay, so I noticed this is like a vortex. So before I thought they were like moving through the melting silver, but now we're going through a vortex.
Yes, so this is a Shadow Gate. So we're not using the QuickSilver. And that's what he was saying. We can't open the QuickSilver because, well, then everybody would know. And then that is used to go through realms. But the Shadow Gates can only be inside the realm they're in.
Okay.
Also, Sarah's questions him on like, why did we just ride horses for this long? Why didn't we just do the Shadowgate thing from the beginning to get where we need to go? And any big like show of magic or use of magic like that would alert the king. He would be able to feel it. And so they have to be, what did he say, 50 leagues, however far that is, away.
Yeah.
Is like the minimum amount for King Bellicon not to be able to feel that magic. And the tavern happens to be exactly that distance, which is why they're able to then shadow step from there.
Yeah.
So Ren finds out that Saris has like this oath thing that is keeping her attached to Kingfisher, and he's definitely not a fan. So I don't think this is a very like popular form of making an oath. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
Okay. Later, at some point when she wakes up to one Carrion Swift. And then she's like, okay, now that you're awake, I'm going to bombard you with all the questions because of course that's what we would do. And we find out that Carrion was able to get a job and housing secured for Hayden with triple the water rations. And so like he's good. He's set, like, let's like chill, let's figure out what's going on here or whatever, right? So then when Kingfisher comes back, she's like pissed off about the deal or whatever.
She remade him do a deal that like if she made the relics that he needed, he'd take her and carry it home. And she was like very specific with her wording. So she got smart about her deals.
She thinks she did, right?
I think she got smart.
I think she's did.
But she's still not quite specific enough, apparently. And then Carla, I loved your note on this part.
About how she had a little bait and switch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So she makes this deal with him and she did not get anything. In return, she got Carrion Swift, which is I still stand by. She still got her brother, so whatever.
Ew.
Okay, so we'll get to that here. We'll get to that here shortly, and we can have that debate here shortly.
Okay, so chapter 17, they are in Kingfisher's house, giant manor of house thing, and this thing comes up and is greeting them. And we meet something called a fire sprite, Archer the Fire Sprite.
Archer the Fire Sprite. He's one of my favorites.
He's very excited. He's very happy that Kingfisher's home.
I love him. He kind of reminds me of the librarian.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Rosasors? That's not right.
Yeah.
Rosarius.
Rosarius.
Serious.
Yes, I get that too. He makes me think of, like, have you guys seen Elemental?
Yes.
Yes, that's kind of what it makes me
Yes.
think of. But like at the same time, like it's just a chubby little, like cutesy little teddy bear almost.
A nervous, cute little.
Yes.
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 Yeah, he's
so
adorable.
cute.
He's cute.
I love him. I loved him the first time. I love him even more this time.
I agree.
Mhm.
Okay, so then after we meet Archer, at some point in the next scene of events, Kingfisher takes Saris to the forge there at his house, and he shows her this huge trunk, um, full of rings. And she realizes that there's 15,000 rings in there. And she kind of realizes that she fucked up again with the whole deal making thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So she realizes that she's like, well, shit. I did not specify how many relics I would make. I said I'd make as many as you needed, and that happens to be 15,000. So, yeah, sucks to be me.
Okay, so chapter 18. This is when she's making her first couple of attempts at these rings, right?
Mhm.
And then she comes out and she's like done for the day, whatever. She comes out and Ren's in the hallway and he's basically like setting up a dinner date for her with Kingfisher to like get to know him better and so that Kingfisher can get to know her better.
Mhm.
So she's basically like, fine, I'll do it. So part of this first conversation or whatever, they're sitting across this long table and he's projecting his voice at her. And they're talking about how the silver is in low supply.
I thought it was interesting. I liked how because she says about how why don't you just like you have plenty of gold, why don't you sell your gold to buy more silver? And he was like gold's more valuable than silver, and he's like it's not more valuable than silver here. And I kind of like how the different worlds like they don't have the same amount of stuff, like they put value on different things
Yeah,
differently.
I was thinking kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and the king has a tariff on all silver.
Yeah.
Any silver found has to be sent to the king. And
Yeah.
he knows that for this, just for the sake of this chapter, since we haven't fully gotten there yet, but they do mention it here that like silver is one of the things that would help end the war. But King Bellicon hoards it.
Also, just kind of bringing up King Bellicon, he's a douche, and he also won't give any aid to the warriors that are fighting against Sansaroth.
Yeah, he kind of sucks.
Yeah, maybe. I'm doing really good at this, huh?
I think at this point we can all agree that what we've seen from him from up to this point in the book, he's not the greatest.
Right? We can all
For what
agree
we
that,
know
right?
up into here, we can agree on that.
Well, that's not a spoiler. He's acting like a douche.
Not at all. He is, yeah.
Okay, and then so also during the middle of this conversation, we find out how Kingfisher found Carrie and Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, do you remember how we found Carrie and Swift?
Yep.
I want to hear from Carla because I think Carla's still on Team Brother.
Yep.
Why don't I remember?
I know.
That would explain why you're on Team
Katie,
Brother.
give us your best explanation.
To my mom?
Yes!
Oh, no.
I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. So basically, okay, so when she's getting the ring, right, she's also kind of getting excited while she's
Yeah, that was the last one.
Giving some dance lessons to Kingfisher in the exotic formation. Okay, and that's how she gets the ring, right?
Okay.
And she kind of is also excited about this, and this excitement is kind of transferred over to Kingfisher. Ooh, I like how I'm explaining this. It's very good. So that excitement that she has on her is now all over Kingfisher. Immediately, she runs to go to the pool, right? So then when Kingfisher comes to stop her, and then he immediately goes into the pool, he's still covered in all that excitement. He's very excited as well, apparently. So when they make the blood pact or whatever, he's like, I can use your blood, or I can smell you on him because he's your brother or whatever. So when he goes to find him, he says that this dude, he found this dude and he reeked of her because these people don't take showers.
Yes.
Because
then.
yes, she was also
Okay.
excited with Carrion at one point. So that's how he thought it was him. And because they were in a hurry, he said he was in a hurry because he had to get back to the castle, whatever, to be able to come back through the QuickSilver pool.
And also Carrion said, my name is Hayden. So
he
put all the pieces together. Part. Yeah, he just put all the pieces together and said, okay, cool. Let's go, Hayden.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this.
That part I do remember. I don't remember the other part. Okay.
Yes, but that's what he says. Because he says like he was rushing, and so he probably couldn't differentiate the smell of her blood, which is what they thought he'd be able to use, and excitement.
No,
trying to use appropriate words.
The same page now. Yes.
You're no longer on Team Brother? Are you on Team Brother still?
Are you still
on Team Brother?
Okay. Hey, we don't judge here. Okay. This is a no judge zone.
It is a no judge zone.
But I know.
You know he's the brother?
I know. They don't know, but I know. Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Katie, are you still I don't think you were on Team Brother.
I was never on Team Brother because I thought that was gross, so I was not on Team Brother out of like hope.
She just refused to believe it. Even if it was true, she refuses.
Even if it was true, I'd be like, no, they're not.
All right. Well, Jess, wrap up this chapter for us so we can keep going.
All right, cool. So during dinner, she gets sick and tired of him doing his little like voice projecting thingy to her. So she just decides to grab her glass and go and sit right next to him towards the head of the table. The fire sprites come in and bring them their food. And Archer has a small heart attack over the fact that she is sitting next to him. Because apparently she doesn't know the manners and etiquette or something along those lines. And then they're sitting there talking and some feeders crash the party. So these creatures, so it's like a man, a woman, and a child, come busting through the window.
Yeah, I don't know if they said I don't think they've said that's what they were fighting before. I assumed that they were fighting like other elves.
Yeah, they never have said, they haven't up to this point in the chapters, they have not said what the enemy is across the, over in Sanisroth.
Yeah, okay.
This is the first time where she's like, after this fight, in this chapter, she's like, what were those things? And he says feeders.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting because I think I just assumed they were fighting like other elves, and it was like a elf on elf situation for whatever reason. So yeah, the feeders are kind of intense.
They kind of give me zombie vibes, is what it makes me think
zombie vampire vibes.
That's kind of also what I was thinking.
I can't keep all of my supernatural creatures separate. So, I mean, other than bad dudes, like, I don't know. I do know of a creature coming up in a later chapter. I've heard of them before, so I'll save that for later. But no, these guys, I'm like, yeah, I can't keep all my supernatural people straight.
So she gets bit and she's going in and out of consciousness. But before this, Kingfisher also does mention to her that the reason that the silver is in such short supply is because silver is the only thing that will kill them. And not only is that why it's in such short supply, but that's also why Belicon hoarding all of it is causing them to lose the war. Because they don't have what they need to kill them. And then chapter ends with her basically fading out, going unconscious, and Kingfisher calling out for somebody to come help.
Okay, so chapter 19. This starts with a dream. And then basically she wakes up. She's in Kingfisher's bed. And basically he is going to go to the battlefront and the war camp. He's going there for 1 week. He's going to the war camp for 1 week, and then he'll be back. She is to stay in this bed for 5 days. And because she doesn't want to listen, he decides to compel her again. So
yeah. So he lets her get up to use the potty.
that is true. He says,
You
unless
can
you
get
need
up,
to
you
relieve
need
yourself.
your potty. Yeah. And that's it. And then he's like, and then you have to go straight back to bed.
Yep.
So
Oh,
so annoying.
Man. Yes. Katie, what do you think about this predicament she's got herself in?
I'd be so mad. I'd be fuming. If I just had to sit in a bed, especially because she's not allowed out of the bed until she's like fully better. I feel like at the very end, you'd be like, okay, I can like at least like walk around. But no, I'd be so mad. I don't blame her for being as bad as she is.
I'm gonna say, this sounds kind of amazing to me. They bring you books. They bring you food. It's a self-cleaning bed. No one bothers you.
This sounds amazing. Amazing.
Sleep as much as you want, whenever you want.
Only 5 days? You sure you don't need me here the whole week you're gone? A whole bed to myself?
Yeah.
So, okay. Me and Jess, if you can't tell, we have small children still. So this sounds amazing. So then at some point, Carrion comes in to visit her, and I love this part. So he tells her that he's been like out watching the guards train, and he's really interested in like their fighting styles and stuff like that. And then she noticed that like, because he's talking about, watch, it just cleans itself, because he's got his muddy boots on the bed, and he goes, it just cleans itself or whatever. And then she goes, okay, the last time I seen you, you were walking around barefoot. Like, how did you get new boots? And he goes, Kingfisher gave them to me for a trade that I take a bath. And it was a magical bath with the water sprites that were very thorough.
And some moss.
And some moss.
So, okay. Y'all, the third ward, it stinks. That's all I gotta say. Neither one of them, as soon as they got to this realm, they were both asked to take a bath. That's because they don't have a water in the third ward, and they have never bathed. They've never bathed.
Yeah. I like it.
They've never bathed in their lives, and they funky stinky. And that's all I got to say.
Can you imagine? Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
They'd be so stinky.
I think Kingfisher was a little jelly.
Oh,
because we know why he got Carrion instead of his brother, and I think that's why Kingfisher wanted him to take a bath so bad, was because he had that reminder. Yeah.
Wanted to like clean her off of him.
Yeah, I think that's why he really wanted to take her up, to take a bath. I think
so
he was
here's some boots. Go take a bath.
Yeah. I think he was jealous, and also he probably did stink a lot. But I also think he was jealous.
You don't think his stinkiness was the main reason? Carla's like, it's gotta be. Like, it's gotta be.
No, I think he was jelly.
Okay, so then she is out in the forge again. She's trying some things, and then we find out that the boys are back because Ren has come in through the side door.
He climbed the wall.
He climbed the wall. Yeah, he like came over the wall or whatever. And so Ren is like, you're gonna have another dinner date with Kingfisher tonight or whatever. And she goes, I'm not going if you're not going. So then all of a sudden we have a party. Carrion, gets to tag along as well.
Yep. And she surprises the hell out of everybody again with her seating choice.
Mm-hmm.
Ren is like, the hell is she doing? So
I like when Carrion's like, oh, well, I'll sit there instead or something. And
yeah, and
Kingfisher's is like,
Kingfisher's
no,
like,
the fuck you
no,
won't.
you absolutely will not.
But yes, so they're kind of like having this conversation. So like Ren and Carrion are kind of like becoming friends, but they can like still overhear like Kingfisher and Sirius like kind of talking, and they're trying to like pretend they're not listening, but they can both obviously hear what's going on and all that. And so Carrion's talking about like, I'd love to train with you guys. Like, like, how do you train? I want to train with you guys, that kind of thing. So they basically agree that like he can come to training and stuff like that in the morning. They're going to be training in the morning or whatever. And then Kingfisher kind of surprises everybody with saying that they are going to the war camp in the morning and they get to go. Okay, so chapter 20. We have, I was going to say shadow stepped, but we're not shadow stepping in this book. We are just using the shadow gate.
Shadow gates.
We've used this once again. She's very happy that she left Onyx at home, or more or less Kingfisher made her leave Onyx at home with Archer because Kingfisher says he wouldn't last more than the day. But this war camp, and she's like, wow, like there's soldiers and tents everywhere, and she's like, okay, this is a war camp, like this is what makes me think of it. And there's this river, which is the Darn, and that is Sansaroth on the other side of the river. And then she sees this like fortress up on the hill or whatever, and she's like, what is that? And that is, I'm gonna try, but the one that said it was Ren, and like I said in the audiobook, he has a Scottish accent and that throws me off every single time. So we're gonna pretend it's Anomatreath. I don't think that's right, but
Amontreath.
I don't know. Okay, which means Hell's Teeth, and that is, it's basically like the seat of the enemy.
Okay, so she goes with Kingfisher back to his tent and they're having a meal together. She notices all these books in his room and bookshelves, and they're actually having a somewhat amicable conversation, which was throwing her a little bit. It threw me a little bit too. He wasn't being a total asshole to her for the moment.
Kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little weird. While they're at dinner, yes, they were, before the kissing happened, they were talking about some history and stuff, right?
About a blood curse. Yes. So he's talking about how humans have never been slaves here, at least not to the Yvelins, when we were blighted with our blood curse thousands of years ago. And then he goes, she remembers more about the blood curse, which I had, of course, forgotten. The one he'd spoken of before back in the halls of the Winter Palace. He said the sharp canines the Fae still possessed were a remnant of that curse. So they got these big, like, wolf teeth or vampire teeth or whatever you want to call it. And they're part of this curse from long, long ago. And I think that's going to come into play.
Yeah. And so she's walking into the war tent while talking to Ren. And that's where she finds Carrion, who's in there eating. What is he eating?
It's cake. It's not cake.
It's not cake. What is it?
Quiche.
It's quiche.
And it made me really want quiche.
I know, me too.
You know, Katie, there's actually a quiche on the menu this week, so you should come home this week.
Oh, I will.
Have some quiche.
I'll fake being sick and get off of work.
For quiche.
Okay, for quiche. For quiche.
It's a mental health
make
day.
A 4-hour drive.
Mental health day.
Can I take mental health day and come? Can Jess come?
Right? Right, please.
Yeah, you guys aren't nearly as far away. So.
That's true. This is the first time she's seeing like some of these other warriors, right? And then she also has Carrion, who's she's talking to or whatever, and he's like, where did that blood come from? Or why is your neck bleeding? I think is what he says.
I think Kingfisher did something.
What do you think?
And she didn't catch on. She's like, oh, maybe I like caught it on something.
Right. So do you think he did it?
Yes, I do.
Interesting.
Danya, which is one of the other warriors there, this female warrior that's there, she kind of goes nuts on him, freaking out on him, like, why were you gone for so long? Where have you been? You owe us an explanation. You haven't been here to lead us. Just freaking out on him. And then she like freaks out so much that she full on acts like she's going to attack him. She like raises her sword, is about to strike, and her sword turns to shrapnel out of nowhere. It just like turns into shrapnel.
Well, it's because Sarah yells
Right.
stop.
Sarah yells stop, and at that moment her sword turns into shrapnel. And then right as that all transpires, there's also this very large boom outside. And everyone's like, oh shit, and they all like leave. And that's kind of how this chapter ends.
Yeah, because they can hear somebody yelling icebreakers.
Yep.
So chapter 21.
So they go out to help break the ice. So the Darn is frozen solid, and there are feeders coming across the ice. Then some dude comes across the river, and he's yelling out at
across the river.
He doesn't come across the river. He's on
still on
his
his
side.
side.
He's on his side of the river, and he's yelling out at Kingfisher.
Let's talk about what you guys think of this new character that's walked in, but we also have a couple other new characters. So what are you guys thinking right now?
I definitely think Malcolm's gonna be like the big bad of this book. Like the big scary guy. I think I want to know more about him. I want to know why he's different than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's going on there.
Okay. Carla, what are you thinking right now?
My first thought was that he was like Goliath and he's going down. So it's the very opposite.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
big and bad, but I think he's gonna like go down, and then we've got like bigger fish to fry.
Okay. Thoughts on the I missed you? It's only been a few weeks. Anything with that?
I think he's hiding stuff. Or maybe he's not hiding stuff, but he's definitely like seeing this Malcolm guy. Or maybe
Kingfisher is?
Yeah, Kingfisher is my bad. And I don't know if he's actually being secretive about it, but I feel like he might be being a little secretive about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, is it like he's seen him and maybe he's the one who's like controlling Kingfisher, or is it like they've seen each other in battle?
Oh yeah, I did have that thought that maybe he like has an oath with Malcolm. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just forgot I had that.
No, that was awesome. Oh. Yeah, like because I feel like somebody has him under an oath spell thing. So it might be this Malcolm dude. I don't know.
Okay.
But either way, he's going down.
Okay.
Chapter 22. Okay, so our previous chapter ended with Malcolm taunting Kingfisher. This chapter comes in, the battle's not quite over yet, right? And in this moment, though, right before the battle ends, Saris is speaking to, I still can't remember the dude's name, this Earth Sprite guy, and he's kind of explaining the feeders and mentions that they're already dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because she kind of has like this twinge of like, I kind of feel bad, but I shouldn't. And he's like, yeah, they're already dead, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
But then how are we going to win a war if we're fighting a war against people that are already dead? Like, how is that going to work?
Well, I mean, I guess that's why the war's been going on for what, like 10,000 years or something?
Okay,
Because the
fair.
thing that kills them, because remember, the thing that kills them is silver, and they don't have silver. So they can, like, do what they can to keep them at bay at this point, but without silver, they really can't kill them.
Okay.
Which is why the war's been going on forever. So you're
forever.
right. It is
Yeah.
kind of a losing battle at this point. Okay, so then the battle ends and Kingfisher just like grabs Saris and they go through the shadow gate and go back to the house. No explanation to anybody else, just grabs her and they go home. So while they're home, they have a conversation about what just happened. In this conversation, Kingfisher gives some history about the feeders and what they are. Because the Earth Sprite guy also called them vampires, which are not the same thing. And this is where Kingfisher kind of clears that up. So, and you guys can help me because I don't remember exactly the details of how the feeder is made versus the vampire. Leslie, do you remember that?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, go for it.
So we have the vampires, and then when they bite the mortals or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that's when obviously they'll like die, and then they become the feeders, or basically they are dead when they're feeders. So they're like zombies. The feeders are like zombie vampire things.
Mhm.
Okay. And then the vampires are still just vampires. And then when they're talking about Malcolm, he's the king of the vampires.
And he is half fae, half vampire.
Correct.
He's a high fae vampire, and he is the first and only of his kind.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, basically.
Kind of, exactly. Yeah, so you've got Malcolm, then you've got the vampires, and then you've got the feeders.
And the feeders can never move up, no matter how many,
They're the
how many
bottom of the
Mary Kay
chain.
products they sell.
Yes.
Basically, yes.
And so this also back to Saris's question for Kingfisher in the tent of like, where did all the humans go? She finds out here, this is basically where most of the humans went.
That we're in this realm. Yeah.
That were in this realm, as Malcolm used and or used them, turned them into feeders, or just killed them because he wanted to. So then Saris asks him. So here we go, Katie. Saris asks him if he was with Malcolm all those years. And he can't answer. But the way he skirts around it, she starts to realize exactly what Katie said in the previous chapter, I think, that he's bound. He is bound by some oath or something that he can't say. He can't say what happened.
Yeah, I don't think she knows that it's necessarily like an oath or something like that. She just realizes that he really can't say anything about it.
I think she's starting to realize, I don't know if she says it, but I think she's starting to realize that he literally can't answer.
Yeah.
Even if he wanted to.
Like he can't say what happened to him.
No.
And he can't say where he was for the past 110 years.
Who he was with, none of it.
Yep. And then, my friends, we have the twisted tango in the dark. I mean, moving some furniture around. Wink, wink. But Katie, your question. What's your question here?
My question is, after they move their furniture, she gets a bird tattoo like on her chest, and I want to know what's up with that.
Yep.
I want to know.
That's how it works, Katie.
That's what happens.
Oh.
Sorry, I'll take this one.
We promise she's old. We promise she's old enough to be having this conversation with us.
Well, and she remembers like in the furniture moving process that she kind of vaguely remembers like this shadowy like ink moving over her skin, but she didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
Until
Fisher's tattoos kind of like crawling over her, I guess.
Yeah, that's what she thinks about it. Yep.
And then can we just take a minute for my boy Archer, who's knocking at the door so Kingfisher's basically like, you stay here, I have to go back and handle that shit show. So he not shadow steps, but I'm probably gonna end up keep calling it shadow. He's shadow gated out of the room, and he's going back to the war camp. She's supposed to stay there for the night, right? Mm-hmm. And so she hears this knock on the door, and it's my boy Archer. Okay. And let me tell you, he is there offering refreshments after the big game. All right. He's like, here's some apple juice. I can't remember the little snack, but he gives her apple juice and stuff like that. And that's when she's like, that's not what we were doing. He's like, okay, that's like you're tired. You just did the twisted tango. She goes, no. Kingfisher wanted his furniture moved to the other side of the room. So we did that. And then he decided he didn't like it. So we put it back. And he's like, right. Anyway.
Here's some snacks.
Here's some snacks.
Okay, so chapter 23. So the next day, Kingfisher wants to take her to a healer for a contraceptive after their furniture moving the night before. And Sarah shares with him that it's not necessary because she has been quote unquote cleansed, which was a common practice in Zilvarin. Like 70% of the girls were marked, and she shows him this like mark behind her ear, that they were sterilized to keep down population. And I think it was more specifically for their ward, for in the third ward, because of the disease or whatever they have there.
Supposedly.
Yep. Which pisses him off. Like he gets so frustrated over that. He really, she's like, I thought he'd be happy about that. And no, he's not happy about it at all. So, and that's all we hear about that little conversation. And then we move on to Carrion. And what do you guys think of this part in this chapter? Carla, you specifically with Carrion, this little conversation.
Yeah, he is quickly becoming my favorite character. I mean, the competition is pretty light, but
he's a boy,
yeah,
according to Kingfisher, right?
So he's sitting there and he's reading and he's all like, well, yeah, of course Fae exist. Like, duh, you didn't know. So apparently his grandma had taught him all about the Fae and this other realm, and he's like, yeah, she even had this book right here. So yeah, I like him. He's just kind of chill. He's like, yeah, we're in this weird world with these weird creatures, and
yeah, he's like very
whatever.
unfazed by anything. He's just like, here, life is good. Whatever.
Yeah. He's awesome.
I got my boots. I got some water. We good.
It does kind of make me want to meet his grandma. Like, what's up with her?
Okay. That's a good point.
Like, does she know stuff?
So what we're talking about here is, now she's back, whatever, she's going to the forge that's at the war camp, right?
She's back at the camp.
Mm-hmm. And she comes up to the forge and she finds Carrion sitting there reading this book or whatever, and he's talking about how this is the same book that his grandma used to read to him. She's basically got it memorized. He's pretty sure he's got it memorized at this point.
Yeah, she would like withhold food from him until he like gave her certain points from the book,
like was able to recite certain parts. Yeah, and so this book is called Fae Creatures of the Galarian Mountains.
Yeah.
And then he also talks about how there is this handwritten note on this copy of this book. There is a handwritten note on the first page, and it says, "Never forget, monsters thrive best in the dark. Commit all you read here to memory. Prepare for war." And that is actually like the first page of the physical copy of the book as well. And then so Carrion says, "You are extra fucking miserable today. You should really get laid. Might help improve your mood. Tell him, sunshine." And of course, she's not told Carrion that they were, moving furniture last night.
Yeah.
And so she's just like, only if he knew, kind of thing. And so then Kingfisher says, "Don't call her sunshine." Carrion says, "Why not?" And then Kingfisher says, "Because she is moonlight, the mist that shrouds the mountains, the bite of electricity in the air before a storm, the smoke that rolls across a battlefield before the killing starts. You have no idea what she is, what she could be. You should call her Majesty." And my question to you ladies is, do any of you think anything of that?
I think he has a lot of feelings that he's bad at. I don't know. I think it's like oddly sweet, even though if I was in her shoes, I'd literally want to kill him for that. Be like, oh my god, I want to curl up and die, which she kind of does.
That is true. She kind of does. She's like, did you
"Oh,
need something or something like that? Or what'd you come up here for or whatever?
yeah, she's but yeah, I think he has a lot of feelings.
Chapter 24. So I can't remember exactly how we get on the topic of Danya's sword. Well, they're okay. No, I do. They're trying to pick the pieces out of the wall, and Ren says how there's some slivers that are so itsy bitsy tiny that they literally can't even get a hold of them to pull them out of the wall. And she's like, "Why is that a big deal? Like, just file them off smooth." And he goes, "No, you don't understand. That'd be sacrilege. You can't do that. It's a god sword, or it used to be, was." And so she goes up to the pieces and she starts realizing that she can hear the metal. And then she starts realizing that even back in Zilvarin, when she could hear the metal, like the gold or iron or whatever, it wasn't the specific metal, it was traces of quicksilver within them that she was hearing.
So we're talking about how, or Saris is talking about how Madra is like keeping all the metal. And I'm wondering if Madra thinks that there are people in the third ward that can also do what Saris does, and knows how to talk to the QuickSilver, and maybe that's specifically why that ward is treated so poorly.
That's a good thought. So then Ren makes some cryptic statement to her. She's like talking about how long
everybody
it's
in
gonna...
general, I think.
Yeah. But I think she's kind of thinking about like how long it's going to take her to get all this done and whatnot. And he's like, no, you need to hustle up a little bit because we have 12 months. Do you guys have any thoughts on why that might be?
I think it might be something with maybe the fact that the Quicksilver was woken up, or maybe something else, because the queen did seem to be very on edge, the Madra. But I don't know if she was on edge. She might just always be on edge.
Me too, girl. Me too.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it could be something with the Quicksilver being woken up or something unrelated, and that's why Madra was so stressed. I don't know.
And then go into a little more serious conversation where Lorith goes into his history a little bit about how he became one of the 8. He was a traveling singer, believe it or not, before Kingfisher. And
hold on. The first thing I thought of, okay, because mind you, they're sitting in a bar and they're like drunk, right? It makes me think of Tangled.
Oh my gosh, yes.
If I only had a dream or whatever the song is. And then like all these rough and tough guys, they're like singing a song and they're dancing around the bar. Oh my goodness, that's all it made me think of.
Yes.
Instantly. Okay, you can continue. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. We got to get those Disney references in.
Every single time.
Those. Yeah, so he was a traveling singer and he was mortally
on the
wounded.
brink of death.
On the brink of death. And Kingfisher finds him and he does something to heal him where he shares a piece of his soul. And
so
go ahead.
Well, just to kind of clear it up a little bit easier, he says if Lorith dies, then Kingfisher gets that part of his soul back. But if Kingfisher dies first, then he's the one that's sitting in limbo that can't go to this afterlife or whatever until Lorith dies, till he can have his soul complete again.
Yep. And so chapter 25 starts off with Kingfisher takes her to this like small peaceful little village called Ballard. And he says that there's something that they need there. Something that is there in Ballard that they need. They're going to get it, stay the night, and then they're going to go home. And so while they're there, they meet a new character called Wendy.
I loved Wendy. She seems so sweet.
Yeah, she's my bestie. Yeah, I love Wendy. She's adorable.
She is.
She's like finally a nice, kind character.
I think I
Yeah,
remember feeling that way too when I read it the first time, like, oh, kind of a breath of fresh air. Like,
yes,
oh,
exactly.
a nice character.
Because all the other Fae are kind of intense, but she's just
Yeah.
sweet and nice. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just have
Except
to
for,
be really, really old.
yeah. Yeah, she's pretty cool. And she keeps referring to Kingfisher as Kingfisher of the Ajon Gate. You guys have any thoughts on that?
Seems a little royal, but other than that,
it does. But his dad was like a lord.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So then while they're having this conversation with Wendy around the fire and they're just having a good time, having some drinks and snacks and
Biscuits?
visiting. Biscuits, yes, these special biscuits that she's been making for him for 100 years and he's never shown up to eat them. And he owes her money because sugar's expensive. Um, all of a sudden, Saris is like assaulted in her mind by this saying, this Anarath Mor, Anarath Mor, Anarath Mor. And she's just like kind of mentally freaking out. And then she realizes Kingfisher's like, what's going on with you? She realizes she was actually saying that out loud. Any thoughts on that, ladies?
yeah, this is super weird. It's almost got to be like maybe somehow the metal is taking over her mind, or I don't know. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It means something to
Well, yeah.
Kingfisher. But like to the point where he like won't even really tell her what it means.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it can't be good.
Or can he even have that ability to?
Tell her what it means. Oh yeah, it might be part of some of the stuff that
Oh,
he's
that
not
might be
allowed
under.
to tell her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good point.
It's not the first time she's heard it, but it's the first time she's said it out loud, correct?
Right. Right. Because the
Yeah.
first time
Yeah.
she heard it was the first time she held the QuickSilver.
I feel like she might have told him what she heard, but she didn't like just say it, like blurt it out.
Yeah. And so they're traveling through the village and she sees this statue of a woman in the town and realizes that it's like has the same features as Everlane, but then she realizes the same features as Kingfisher and realizes that this statue is of Kingfisher's mother. And
Yeah,
that
she reads like a little thing. It says Adina of the Seven Towers, Lady of Kalish.
Mhm.
Before the chapter ends, they go inside this little like townhouse.
Mhm.
And he's like, you can have the bigger room, I'll take the smaller room. It used to be mine
Yeah.
anyway, or something like that. Or I'm used to sleeping in that room or something like that anyway.
And like he's got the keys to this house. It's like his house kind of thing is how he's acting. He doesn't say it, but she's like, huh.
Which, yeah, I feel like it makes sense if it's like his childhood room, especially if he has like the smaller bedroom.
Yeah, true.
And
Yeah.
like his mom would be in the big bedroom. He'd be like, I don't like I kind of read it like maybe it was like his childhood bedroom or something.
Mhm.
But
Chapter 26, we've got 2 more chapters. We can do this. And so she ends up telling him about like her childhood growing up, and like how her mom was a rebel and her dad died when she was like what 2 or something like that. Mom's already pregnant with Hayden when dad dies, and about how her mom had to be a prostitute, and she had these rebel friends that taught her how to fight with the swords and sneak in and out of these buildings and to get how to get water and to filter it and stuff like that. Kind of like the very last thing that like Kingfisher says in this is that his mother was also killed. So I just kind of want to know what you guys thought of like Saris's backstory.
I guess there wasn't anything too surprising. The third ward is not a good, happy place. We already knew that her dad was gone. We didn't know how. Interesting how Elroy came into the story, how he wasn't really a stepdad.
I thought it was we got to learn that there was never actually any disease at all. It was just like a lie that the queen made up because she found the like rebel weapons in her mom's bag. And so she was just like, oh, the third ward has a disease. And they aren't, because I think before that we don't really know for sure that there wasn't actually a disease. Like I kind of assumed that there was a disease, but it's kind of like not really as big of a problem anymore. But like that
she
stigma.
says like our house was the first to be quarantined after her death.
Like it has so yeah, I thought that was interesting. And yeah, it kind of just like a lot of it we can kind of assume, but like it filled in some gaps and stuff. So
the other part of my question is, like I said, at the very end, Kingfisher says that his mother was also killed. Do we have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, because I don't think because Everlane says that she died in childbirth. But he says that she was killed, and I don't think he'd be saying that about Everlane. I think something else. There was some foul play that he knows about, but Everlane doesn't know about, and maybe has to keep it secret for some reason. I don't know.
Let's move on to our last chapter of the evening and of the section, chapter 27. Apparently, she had a sleepover in Kingfisher's bed, and they woke up and did the morning twisted tango with a side of fighting. And Jess, there was a realization during this.
I love Mind Speak. I love it.
She loves when characters talk into each other's minds, and she's always looking for it.
I am.
All right. So then we have breakfast and tattoos. So I want to hear your ladies' thoughts on that stuff. Carla, why don't you go first?
So she has breakfast and she notices all these random tattoos, and he says he can like take off some tattoos. So I'm thinking we can all get a new tattoo that says like no regrets, and we have like time to like decide whether that's really the tattoo we want or not.
That would be kind of handy.
It sounds fun.
I'm gonna go on Amazon and find us all some like fake tattoos that say no regrets, and then like that'll be our like team picture. No regrets.
I kind of like the tattoo. I have many questions about the tattoos. They seem to be like prophecies. And some of them he can be like, oh, that's just like alchemy stuff, and some of them aren't. And he can
like
take
one of them means blessed.
One.
Yep, is what he says. And then like there's another one that he says is complex.
Yeah, so like the stuff going around on her fingers is alchemist stuff. The one on her hand and arm means blessed one, and then there's a multi-layered one that he says is complex.
And I kind of wonder, like, I mean, she can like choose her fate if they're like prophecies. Because I don't think it's just like about how it looks. I think it's like if she chooses to accept that tattoo or not. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I feel like it's more like choosing her fate or choosing to accept whatever that tattoo says. But yeah, I have a lot of questions about the tattoos. I'm still very curious about them.
I apologize. My brain just farted. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting here listening to you. and my mind was going 800 miles an hour. So, but yeah, so he's basically, he hides it for her, like I just said, but he hides it for all of them, I think. And he says that, like, basically she has like a month, I guess, to decide if she wants to keep these tattoos or not, or accept them is the word that he uses. And then he's about to leave the room or whatever, and then he says, but I can't take that back, which she realizes is him biting her, or the bite marks on her throat. And that is where we leave this section.
Okay, so what are your ladies' thoughts so far at about this 70% line?
At this point in the book, I'm a little disappointed how much I still don't like the main characters. But there's a lot of really good side characters that I really enjoy.
There are some pretty epic side characters in this book.
They're great. Wendy, Everlane, yeah.
Archer.
Oh, Archer.
Archer's like one of the best.
Ren.
Ruffo.
No, not that one. I mean that one, yes. But,
librarian.
Yeah.
Rusarius.
Rusarius. Yes. My little froggy friend. Great side characters. As far as what's going to happen, I expect, because it's, not a standalone book, we are not going to finish the war. At best, we will figure out how to refine this QuickSilver and start making relics. But I don't think there's actually going to be a war conclusion for quite a while yet. Would be my guess.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're gonna finish the war. I think that the Sayers will at least figure out how to make relics. I think that'll happen. I hope they find Hayden, or maybe they won't. I actually don't know if they'll find Hayden in this book. I feel like it could go either way. But I think she'll at least figure out how to find Hayden. I feel like they'll figure out their feelings a little better by the end, I hope. I think she's gonna find out what the tattoos mean a bit better.
Okay. Do you guys think that do you think we've met the big bad? Do you think we're going to meet the big bad? Do you have any thoughts on who the enemy is?
I think the big bad's coming in the next book.
I feel like you might be right, because I thought it was Malcolm, but now I'm starting to doubt myself.
Okay.
I'm sticking with the brother theory, but other than that.
Are you still on the brother train?
I know nobody agrees with me, but just wait.
Just
wait till that next book comes out, and you're all going to be
That'd
wishing you had listened to me sooner.
If that was my brother, I'd jump into the QuickSilver without a relic. I'd be like, no.
It's over. It's over.
We're done.
Okay, so on that note, who do you think is the love interest?
I think it's Fisher. I think Carrion's there to maybe add some drama into there. But I think Fisher is the love interest.
I think Fisher is the love interest, but I don't like it.
Do you?
I wish it was Carrion.
Okay, but you think it's Fisher?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
you wish it was Carrion, but you think he's her brother?
Good point, Katie.
Yeah.
I was to say.
I don't know.
Sweet home Alabama.
Okay, so where's everyone sitting on the cry counter after section 2? I'm a 0. Carla,
0.
Katie,
0.
Leslie.
I'm always a 0.
Oh, that is not true.
Okay, last series doesn't count. Okay.
We hope you have all loved discussing with us and our new BookCast members.
Want to be a BookCast member? Then do all the social media things. Like, follow, and subscribe on all our platforms.
Next week, we will be discussing QuickSilver by Callie Hart, chapters 28 through 45, or the end of the book.
And buddy reading any book with Book Besties is so much fun.
So make sure to share our podcast with your book besties. And if you don't have any book besties,
then be one of ours. And until next week, fill those drinks with ice.
and your books with spice.
Bye.
Bye.